DK Metcalf was just traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers today for a second-round draft pick, and wow, the news we've gotten today between a Josh Allen mega extension for the most guaranteed money and the most average per year salary in the league, Davante Adams going to the Rams, but DK Metcalf is the headliner today. The young receiver for the Seattle Seahawks was rumored to be on the outs in Seattle, especially after they traded their quarterback Geno Smith. And ultimately, Metcalf finds his way on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have desperately been trying to add themselves a wide receiver one for quite some time. And Metcalf, he has a chance to prove that. And he's been that in Seattle with great complementary weapons with JSN and Tyler Lockett, while also having Russell Wilson and Geno Smith as his quarterback. And when Metcalf arrives in Pittsburgh, not only is he going to be on the team this year, he is getting a monster extension for 5 years and $150 million. That is unreal to think about for a wide receiver getting that long of a contract with that big of an amount of total money going to the position. Ultimately, the Steelers needed DK Metcalf, though. We're going to take a look at some of the plays where they struggled without a lack of talent at the receiver position last year. And now it begs the question, who is Pittsburgh ultimately going to go with at quarterback? Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. All four of these guys could be potential options for the Steelers, and it is rumored that they have heavy interest in adding a guy like Sam Darnold. The Steelers are trying to go all in on improving this team who has constantly been stuck in mediocrity. They get to the playoffs, they win 9 to 10 games. Mike Tomlin pursues his over 500 record every single year, and then they lose in the first round of the playoffs. And a lot of the time, it's because of a lack of offensive talent. And let's just say DK Metcalf is one of the most talented players in the NFL. So let's break down why Metcalf is such a big addition for this Steelers team. Metcalf's strengths as a player is as a deep threat, and nobody really talks about his skills as a route runner that allow him to get these chunk plays in Seattle. We're going to take a look here on film of DK Metcalf absolutely destroying a safety in zone coverage and bullying him. As you can see, Metcalf is going to run this deep post. At this point, Metcalf is faking inside around the 40 right here. This safety is trying to jump this deep dig. Ultimately, Metcalf gets him to move just up enough, and Metcalf's going to work right behind him for another chunk play that we constantly see Metcalf have, where he has these 20-plus yard receptions, as he has a top 5 amount of these over the last 5 seasons. And as you can see, Metcalf is absolutely wide open on this play and goes all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. He's a rare guy that can win with deep down the field, good route running, has the size to go along with it, and then he has that barn burner speed to burn any sort of secondary over the top. Kind of similar to his teammate George Pickens, with his strength being his deep threat ability. Here is just what everybody wants to see out of DK Metcalf, right? We always talk about, man, DK Metcalf is such a massive human being. He absolutely looks like a monster out in the field, and this is what you get out of DK Metcalf. He's on Stephon Gilmore. We all know how great Stephon Gilmore was in his career, and Geno Smith is only looking at one option here. One-on-one, Stephon Gilmore versus DK Metcalf. Throwing the ball up, DK Metcalf is just going to absolutely bully Stephon Gilmore and go into the end zone for a touchdown. And I mean, we talk about the speed, right? It's the size and the strength, too, that you get along with Metcalf that makes him such a special talent. Look, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, DK Metcalf is just a slot receiver in this league. You're going to see when this footage opens up, Metcalf is going to be lined up right on the 30-yard line with a guy pressing him in his face. Look, obviously DK Metcalf is a primary outside receiver. Doesn't work a ton in the slot, but he has the ability to. He's won in the slot in Seattle, and you're going to watch on this play with him right up on the 30-yard line up here, just absolutely cook a defender. Good footwork. Oh my God, he's open already. It's literally 2 yards off the ball. DK Metcalf's going to run wide open, and he's just going to get all the way down to the 1 right there. I mean, Metcalf can win in multiple spots. I mean, you don't see a lot of guys get that type of separation, just break a guy's ankles like that in the slot. I know we talk about him as that downfield deep threat on the outside too, but guys, he's underrated in the slot and as a route runner in general, and that's truly something Pittsburgh was missing in these past few seasons. Let's take a look at Pittsburgh's offense and where they were missing a talent like Metcalf this past season. And here is play number 1 from the Pittsburgh Steelers, where you see far too often this group of wide receivers failing to win and get open for their quarterback. I know a lot of people want to jump on Russell Wilson as the scapegoat for their problems at the end of the year. Ultimately, guys, I think Russell Wilson didn't have enough help in Pittsburgh to succeed and take these teams and go beat a team like Kansas City, go beat a team like Baltimore. He didn't have a chance, man. Look at this rep right here. Wilson is going to have a clean pocket at this point. He can choose to dump the ball down to Najee, but Najee has a linebacker on him. Besides that, everything else on this field is covered at this point. Wilson has nowhere to go downfield, decides just, I can't do anything about it. He tries to step up in the pocket. You know, we all know Russell Wilson doesn't throw the ball away. That's one of his biggest downsides, but ultimately nothing is open downfield, and a play like this happened far too often for Steelers fans this past season. This play is a great example of kind of showcasing George Pickens underneath within 10 yards as a route runner. He gets bullied on this route. He is not physical enough with his hands to catch this ball, and his route running is just not very strong side to side. If you watch this play through, he has soft coverage at the top of the screen. This is an easy route. Defender just jumps it right away. I mean, what is this right here? You play this back just a little bit. Pickens cut for a route. I mean, that's like what a high school receiver could do. And he ultimately works 2 yards more closer to his defender. Fields throws this ball. The defender contacts him. Pickens is not able to pick up the ball because he got contacted and ultimately drops the ball far too many times. And this is just one example of Pickens not running a good route, not having good effort on trying to make a catch, and ultimately gets out physical by a corner or a safety that's much smaller than him, which doesn't really make much sense for me. I think Pickens is a solid player as a complementary piece and probably will work very well alongside DK Metcalf, but as a wide receiver 1, he was one of the main reasons why the Steelers weren't able to have a lot of success with him as their main target in the offense. Ultimately, though, DK Metcalf is a major addition for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it could be the first of many additions for this offense that desperately needed more weapons on this team. Metcalf provides a deep threat alongside George Pickens. He provides yak ability, provides the size that you ideally want for a receiver. Reminds me a lot of Calvin Johnson with that presence that he has. Ultimately, yes, he can still get better as a route runner underneath, but he proved last season that he does run good routes, and he is a good football player. He is a wide receiver 1 in this league, and his contract deservingly is that. Now, alongside George Pickens, this duo is pretty solid among the NFL. They could call this duo one of the top, deep threat duos in the league for this next season, ultimately with George Pickens and DK Metcalf there. Now, the question turns to the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback situation. What will Pittsburgh do? I truly think going in and getting Sam Darnold is what this team needs. Go out and get a guy that's not just a veteran who's in there for 1 to 2 years. Oh, we're trying to see what we have. No, go pay Sam Darnold 4 years, give him the 45 to 50 million a year, and go try to make this offense really good. We haven't seen a good offense since prime Ben Roethlisberger, and they desperately need a steady quarterback. Now, if Sam Darnold decides to go elsewhere, I think you look into Russell Wilson again. I know a lot of people were down on Russell Wilson at the end of last season, but Wilson was very underrated last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I truly think giving this guy better offensive weapons, yes, that means moving on from Najee Harris and getting a more explosive, dynamic running back in that backfield. Russell Wilson can shine as a quarterback still in this league, and he could be enough to make this Steelers team better heading into 2025. Ultimately, though, Metcalf is the first of many additions to this Pittsburgh Steelers offense this offseason. Let me know what you guys think of the move to DK Metcalf going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you guys want to check out more player breakdowns ahead of free agency, make sure you guys look at the Devontae Adams video we dropped today as well. If not, subscribe to Blitz Sports Media for more football content, and I will catch you guys next time.